Hello, Doctor, and good day to you. I am Ahmad Irfan bin Jasmi, metric number 281493, and I will be presenting my individual assignment. So, without further ado, let's review the question. So, firstly, there is a factory that produces two types of bolts, which is KK and LL, and the number of bolts is represented by the word K and L. It gives us a function which has two different variables and a cost to produce 1 unit of KK bolt and LL bolt. And the question states that if the firm wants the total cost to produce two types of bolts to be 88, what is the greatest output possible regarding to the budget constraint of 88 ringgit? So from the question statement, we can conclude that it has a function of two variables and a budget constraint which it needs to have the greatest output possible or its maximized output unit. So from the question, we can confirm that that is a function with two variables and an equation for a constraint. So from these two things, we can conclude that this is the application of the Lagrange multiplier. So firstly, we take out the objective function and the constraint equation, and then we construct the constraint function by making it equal to 0 by making 4k plus 8l minus 88. And then we construct the Lagrange function by adding in the objective function with the constraint function, but the constraint function must be multiplied by the lambda. After we get the Lagrange function, we need to differentiate it with the three variables that are in this equation, which is fk, fl, and f lambda. After differentiating the functions, we form that the functions are equal to 0 because of the maximum point. After that, we can take the equations that have lambda so that we can eliminate the lambda so that we can find the values of k and l. After using the method of concurrent equation, we can have the value of the lambda, and then we substitute it with the other equation so that we can have an equation which has the two values of k and l. After we obtain this equation, we can substitute it with the last equation from the differentiation, and we can have the values of k and l, and which is L 8.222 over 9 and k is 5 over 9. So from this solution, with the budget constraint of 88 ringgit, we can produce 8.22 LL bolts and we can produce 5.556 KK bolts. With that, Doctor, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you, Doctor, and stay safe.